welcome to treadmillreviews.com. Today we are looking at the Peloton. This is a home exercise bike. There are tons of exercise bikes out there, so when we compare this bike against others, we're really only looking at home exercise bikes that also have some kind of subscription service that's paired with them. It's an added fee every month, but it's really, the idea behind it is to replace a gym membership. So you're paying to access cycling classes on your home exercise bike. Some of those are live, some are pre-recorded. But as far as a subscription-based home exercise bike goes, we rate the Peloton in our top 3 favorites. We gave it 4.5 stars because it is built well. It's actually really easy to use because Peloton is kind of first and foremost a media company. So their user interface is super duper simple. Anybody could just hop on there and kind of figure it out in a matter of minutes. So we really like that. Another reason why we rate it so highly is because of their subscription service. Peloton Digital is just really, really fun and engaging. There's a competitive nature to it, and we just overall like to use the classes that they have on Peloton Digital. Let's go over just kind of the general specs of the Peloton. So the bike itself weighs 135 pounds. That's pretty lightweight for a home cardio machine. It's got 2 wheels here in the front of the bike, so you just pick up the back end and you can wheel it around. So it's pretty simple to move if you need to do that. Unlike other bigger, heavier home exercise equipment, this one's really easy to move around and doesn't need one dedicated space for it. So whether you're putting it in a home gym or if you want to use it in the living room or the bedroom, you have options and it's easy to change your mind. It holds a user of up to 310 pounds, so that's the weight capacity. The footprint is pretty small too, so it's 4 feet long by 2 feet wide, and the height is about 53 inches. It changes based on where your handlebars are set, but the screen rises with the handlebars. So if you're adjusting to sit up a little taller, the height's gonna change. There's a really silent drive system. It's a belt that powers the flywheel. So just listening now, as we rotate these pedals, you can't hear anything. It's a very quiet home exercise machine. This is a really great feature for households with multiple people in them. If you're exercising in the morning, you're not going to wake anybody up. You can channel all the audio through headphones, and it just takes all noise out of the equation. So that's a really awesome feature about this bike. The entire frame is welded steel, as well as the crank arms. Those are steel as well. The handlebars are steel, but they're coated in a very firm rubber. It's got a good grip to it. There are some exercise bikes that will have like a foam coating around the outside that's squishy and soft and so great, but it's really slippery once you start to sweat even a little bit. So this has a really great grip on it. The pedals that come with the Peloton are a clip-in system. So it requires a tri-bolt cleat on your cycling shoe. If you don't have a cycling shoe, you can purchase the Peloton shoe. You could replace the pedals, but those are options you'll have to consider with the bike. Some people have said, in different reviews, that there is a flat surface on the opposite side of the pedal that you could use a regular tennis shoe on, but you can't. With cycling, you get the most power out of your legs when you have a clip-in system with a shoe that has a completely solid platform on the bottom. So you want that whole surface area of your foot to be used as you're pedaling to get the maximum power and control out of your legs. If you're using just this tiny little platform right here, it's really uncomfortable. It puts a lot of pressure on your feet in places you don't want pressure on your feet. So I would not recommend using this bike with a regular tennis shoe unless you do switch out the pedals. The cleat system that comes with their shoe is a plastic tri-bolt cleat. It's the Look Delta cleat. There are, Shimano, other bike brands make a cleat system like this that you could pair as long as it has the tri-bolt cleat system and not the 2-bolt cleat system. It's plastic. It's pretty hard to clip in initially and clip out. It takes really your full body weight to force that cleat in there, but over time as you're using it, the pieces kind of soften and it just gets a little bit easier to clip in and out. There have been a couple of reviews we've seen where the pedal has broken. It has a 12-month warranty on it, but outside of that, if your pedal breaks, you're kind of on your own. So the issue was right here with this back piece of the pedal. It's plastic and it's secured with a bolt right here. With a lot of force on a plastic component, it's gonna break eventually. So I don't know if that's anything super unusual, because all of these places on a regular road bike are going to need maintenance eventually. But personally, I do ride with a metal pedal. My cleat system is metal, and I think those metal components just hold up a little bit better than the plastic. There's a comfortable seat on the Peloton, but this is something that's going to be different for everybody. There's like a little bit of a channel here to relieve pressure, but it's a replaceable element of the bike too. So if you want to swap that out or throw a more cushioned seat on top, then that's totally doable. The resistance on the Peloton is this manual knob. This is kind of what you're going to see in most spin bike classes, is a manual knob. A lot of the times in a cycling class, you'll have your instructor calling out, turn it up, turn it 2 times, turn it half of a rotation, and they'll kind of help you understand what your personal levels of resistance should be. Either this feels like a flat road, get your resistance to something where it's just starting to engage your legs. And that's kind of tricky to measure your resistance by. On the Peloton, it is a manual resistance knob, but you'll see a percentage readout on your screen, so you know exactly where your resistance is at, which is very helpful. And you don't have to guess if you're putting in some kind of an effort. You can physically measure that resistance, and the instructor in these videos will always give you about a range where you should be, whether it's like 25 to 35%, or if you're doing, a harder hill climb and you're up in the 50%. It's a great system for something that we're all kind of familiar with a cycling bike at the gym, but a more practical way to measure your resistance. So again, we bought the family package, which means we got hand weights, heart rate monitors, headphones, shoes, water bottles, and a bike mat. You can see the bike mat here. It does the job. It's a little bit on the lightweight side, which I prefer something a tiny bit heavier because it just stays put a little bit better. We have our 3-pound hand weights. These are just a rubber coated weight. They're fine. They're just a normal hand weight. I thought 3 pounds was kind of, small, but it actually, when you pair the weight with the classes that they're doing, you're doing a lot of lightweight but high repetition exercises, so you still do get a good burn, but it is something you might plateau out on later. I don't know. I enjoyed the exercise that I had with it, and doing a lot of upper body movement over and over again, I did see a good benefit from it. The shoes that we bought are just your standard. It's a cycling shoe that's more like a standard entry-level cycling shoe. It's a good shoe, but not sure it's worth the price that Peloton charges for it. The water bottles are a glass water bottle, What I do like about these is that they have a rubber sleeve on the outside that sits really well in this like water bottle cradle. And you know, even though there's no cage and it's not grabbing onto the water bottle, the rubber coating holds it in there just fine. It's great. These are the headphones that come with there. They have a really long cord, so you know, kind of any height, kind of any movement, you're not going to get tied up in your cord. Plugs in on the side of the display. There's a left and right earbud. There's a microphone on there and a clip, so you can put them out of the way if you want, or you can adjust these pieces here. I personally don't think they're very comfortable, but that's going to depend on every single individual person and their ears. One good thing about them is they don't fall out, so that's really great. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Peloton Digital really quick. We do have an in-depth review of Peloton Digital with a video that goes through all of the screens, so check that out too if you want to get some more info. We're just going to jump in to this account. You start here. This is all of our live classes and then a lot of the popular on-demand classes. You can view the entire library, and they have great filter options, so you can kind of get rid of classes you know you're not going to like. You can pick, you know, which instructors you want to see, how long of a class you want it to be, the music genre that's in there, what kind of class it is, with or without the hand weights and closed captioning. So you can narrow it down by all those different search variables. And then you can also narrow those results down to trending, popular, top rated. So it'll show you like the most popular to the least popular. Just really great filter options. There's tons of classes, like thousands of them. So that was cycling. These are all the floor exercises. So you can do stuff off the bike. And Peloton Digital is just kind of making it so, you know, if you have the bike, great. Here's this great subscription for it. If you don't have the bike or the treadmill, you still might want this subscription because the goal is just kind of to replace a gym membership. It's all this stuff you can do at home with or without equipment. Really functional. The user interface is super easy and very intuitive. So you've got your homepage. It's a brief overview of what's going on that day and popular classes. Here's their programs, so you can do a series of workouts that build on each other. So you start here and the instructor is working you through a specific regimen week by week. So this is a 4-week program with one instructor with a specific goal in mind. Or they narrow it down by collections. So like if you really like this instructor and you really like her playlists, here's a bunch of stuff that she's done. So you can kind of narrow it down that way. Classes is the entire library of your workouts, which we've kind of looked through already from that first homepage. Here's the schedule of all the live classes. They plan about a week in advance. You can pick and choose which classes you want to add to your calendar. So we've added this 30-minute hit ride on May 9th at 1 a.m. Oops, we're not going to go to class at 1 a.m., but we can change that. We don't want to be in anymore. I guess we're going to do it with these people, but we're going to have to change that on our schedule. But it's really easy to just pick and choose. You grab them, they throw them on your schedule, and then you know which classes you have that week. You can make this big plan for yourself, and then you can change it as you go if you want. You can also add those pre-recorded classes to your schedule as well if you don't want to, set to the live schedule's timing. Here's all the floor classes that they do live. There are less options for this. But I do imagine that eventually they're going to be building on these live classes. So like meditation and stretching, strength and meditation have a few classes. Stretching doesn't have anything live. Cardio doesn't have anything live. Yoga's got a bit more. But this is all kind of seeming to be a work in progress. So we'll see what they do with this in the future. But these live classes, you can also filter by instruction length, difficulties. Some of them allow you to filter by like body focus, which parts of the body you want to work on. So that's, again, just a very intuitive, simple to use program. You have just basic controls over here for your profile, your device settings, and then you can go back to your account and view all of your workout history here. Here's your calendar where you're adding classes and keeping a schedule. You've got your entire history, all the things you've achieved if you've finished one of those series or you've hit certain goals. Here's your activity, distance, calories, average output, heart rate, so you know overall how you're doing. And then the music. You can save music from workouts that you've liked and it'll store those here. And you can also connect to other streaming services that you have subscriptions to. So Peloton Digital, to get all of this, when you have a bike or you have a treadmill, this is $39 a month. You pay for this starting from the time you get your bike and start using it. You're automatically paying $39 a month to access Peloton Digital. It's really cool. There's a lot of neat features to Peloton Digital, but you can get something that's really similar from iFit that's only $15 a month. So that's definitely something to consider. And iFit is something that you can use on Proform bikes, you can use it on NordicTrack bikes. There's a lot more equipment that will pair with that iFit stuff, and a few more features that make it a little bit better of a program. So consider that as well. Overall, we give the Peloton Bike 4.5 stars. It's a good bike and it has a great subscription service. But in this category, we give our best buy to the S22i from NordicTrack. It's a little bit less expensive and you can just hop on it and go. Whereas the Peloton Bike, there's kind of a lot of accessories that you have to buy to actually use the bike. Then with their subscription service, you get it for free for a year with the S22i. After that's over, it's only $15 a month. So we'll include links to that below. We're also making a video where we compare these two bikes side by side. So stay tuned for that as well. Thanks for checking out treadmillreviews.com.